What is good?
What is good? Well, so, okay. I don't. Okay. I was supposed to write something on this. I didn't. So we're gonna kind of, I'm gonna kind of go off of.
Well,
whatever
ideally it
I-
was just supposed to be off the dome, but
Yeah, it's off the dome.
Well, I have some questions. If
You
if
have
you
some
really,
questions.
if
I
we,
mean,
we can feel out your intuition here.
yeah, we could try. I mean, I've been thinking about the system that I've been trying to present.
The system.
And it's just there's these, there's that. Let's see how I answer them with questions. Should I give an overview before we start?
We've started.
Well, I know an overview before we start with the questions, though.
Sure. I mean, that's fine.
Okay. And this isn't necessarily an ethical system. Okay.
Mhm.
This is
Whoa.
different.
What
What?
are you proposing here? Not an ethical system.
No. Well, I'm not denying ethics, to be clear, but I'm saying, I mean, first of all, here's the question. What do you think of the word function?
Function?
Mm-hmm.
When I think of the word function,
Well, what is a function?
I think it's another word for purpose.
Purpose.
Like the function of a car is to move.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would use the word. Or maybe like, is that car functioning?
Yeah.
Or is it running all right? Right? Is it operating according to its purpose?
Yeah. Okay. So you would synonymize function with purpose.
Yeah.
And that's actually an interesting thing. Let's circle back to that. Remember that for me, because I basically I'm gonna forget
circle
that.
back to that. Yeah.
We'll circle back to that. But okay. But like talking about function, right? When
Yes.
would you consider walking a function of a human?
A function of a
Yeah.
human?
Yeah. Function, action.
Action?
Would you say it's more an action? Would you not synonymize it with function?
Well, now I'm thinking function as in like programming, where
Yeah, that's,
part of the human code is able.
Let me put this in. Let me put this in some more standard philosophical terms. Let's change function to action. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's better, right? Because as I move my hand, I'm acting. As I walk forward, I'm acting. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So what do you think of action? What is an action? Is it a thing?
It's something you do.
But is it a thing?
Is it a thing?
Is
Is
it
walking a thing?
It's not substantial, right?
A thing how?
It's not substantial, right? I mean, it doesn't have substance. Walking doesn't have substance. Walking is like
I think it has substance.
Yeah, substance.
In the sense of, I can view something and surmise if it's walking or if it's not walking.
Well, I mean.
So there's something going on where I can recognize.
Well, sure. But I mean, that's observation. Like that's a semantical relationship with you understanding someone's walking. You know what I mean? And that doesn't mean because red doesn't have substance. The color red doesn't. Well, the color red is on a substance, like my shirt.
So
this isn't the redness isn't a substance. The redness is a property. So do you think actions would then be properties?
So interesting. You would say like maybe that orange Home Depot bucket, right? It isn't. Because I would say it is orange. Meaning,
I would say that when we're saying is,
yes,
we're predicating.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm saying that object over there has.
Yeah, it has
orange.
the property of orange. Yeah, but like
so
orange.
You're saying that isn't a substance.
I'm saying that orange isn't a substance. I'm saying it's a property of a substance.
What is a substance?
In classical philosophy,
yeah,
a material or being.
A material or being.
Yeah, right. That's what you call substance now.
I don't use the word substance much, so I'm unfamiliar with it.
Protestants. No, I'm kidding. No. I mean, the bucket, or let's take my ring. Okay.
Wow.
The gold ring.
Beautiful.
Beautiful ring. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, my wife bought it for me. But it has the substance that I can feel, touch, throw. I'm not gonna throw my ring, but but the color, the gold color is a property of what the substance is.
A property of
because the substance has a type. You know what I mean?
Is a substance not just the summation of all its properties?
No, it's a classification. Because like I could say that make a sum of all properties of a human, and that would make the classification of a human. It wouldn't make a human. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But if I make a substantial culmination of those, I've made an instance or a being that is a human, of type human.
Can you have a substance without properties?
I don't. Maybe. I mean, what would that be? What would that look like?
I don't think it even exists because I think.
I don't think that can exist. I think you need properties to have a substance.
And this is what I'm saying, because properties, all a substance is a the summation of its properties.
And this is where we get into the issue of immaterial substance. I don't think it can be real.
You don't think there's any
I don't think there's
immaterial property?
I don't think there's any. Well, so if the immateriality is the only way to not have property.
Really?
Yeah, it's the absence of substance, and therefore the absence of need of property. You don't occupy space.
Numbers have property.
Well, yeah, but they're a concept. They're not substance.
They don't exist.
So when I take my two fingers,
yes.
like, would you say I've created an instance of two?
No.
Or would you say when you observe my fingers, you have a semantical relationship with my fingers, understanding that that's two?
Well, I think two refers to something that exists out there.
You think two is real? You think
I think the number two is real. Yes.
You think two is real? Well, but you know what I mean? Like it. There's a substance
I think numbers
of two.
Exist.
There's an actual two.
There's a two.
There's a two out there. There's the two. Huh.
I mean, what would it mean if two wasn't out there?
I don't think there is a two out there.
Yeah.
I think a dog can understand two.
You think a dog?
Well,
maybe. I don't know.
Smarter. like what I more of mean is a dog can understand more or less, which means a dog can understand numbers.
Uh-huh.
And so what I mean is, two is an input into our minds. I don't think two is grounded by any, like, a being out there. I think two is, I see my fingers, and by observation that I understand this concept in my brain. It makes a shape, right? Like a logical shape, and I've assigned the name two to that.
Yeah, I don't think, like, the name two is special or anything.
Yeah, but, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but, like, that's a semantical understanding. That's not a property or of a substance.
Two-ness is not a property.
Two-ness is not a property. No. Two-ness is a shape.
What is a shape? Shape meaning. Shape meaning what?
A logical shape, but not like a real material shape, like a semantical. I don't have another word for it. I think shape is the best way to describe it. It's a it's a logical structure.
I don't have two-ness of feet.
Well, you do have two-ness of feet, right? Because when I bring my 2 feet together, I'm making
it's a property
two.
Then.
Yeah, I'm making two. Just like when I bring 4 sides together that are equal, I make a square.
So squares exist.
No, squares are a semantical shape.
Whoa! What?
Yeah.
Squares don't exist. Okay.
Squares aren't real.
You really don't think they exist in a.
I don't think there's.
But beyond,
I don't think there's a reference square out there that we all go to when we think of square.
Yeah, because we define a square, and then whatever we find, if it matches the definition.
Yeah, I think there's I think our conscience is a property making.
So
thing.
we make properties.
We collect properties and we assign them a name.
But the properties exist.
The properties exist in that they are expressed by an substance.
Expressed by substance.
Right? Because that orange bucket over there is expressing orange to me. I mean, of course, it is actually reflecting
it has
light.
Orange.
It is reflecting light off of it. Right? So actually, the light is expressing orange to me. But
so I guess then there's this term called qualia. In philosophy, right?
Okay.
And what you were seeing, the orangeness of that bucket, it would be called qualia, because we understand
quality.
That, well, maybe it's derived of that, but qualia is like a noun in itself.
Okay.
The qualia of that bucket is red, and all that means is that's how it appears to you. Because redness, right? We can't describe redness in any sense.
Sure.
In a sense, I mean, that is objective, right? It's just how it appears to us. And you can say, oh, it's this wavelength. But, I mean, why do we think that wavelength is red? It's only because we experience it.
I mean, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, well, so...
So is redness a property then?
So redness becomes that actually covers both kind of, and it covers another issue, which is interesting, is the redness of the bucket, right? I mean, who knows? Maybe you're experiencing it as my blue.
Yeah, I mean that's what it was
Yeah,
going.
yeah. And so there is something about consciousness that is like we are understanding what's coming at us rather than it's a defined objective thing. Instead, we are trying to have a semantical relationship with it. Like so if I'm, it's kind of like that the apologetics that people do for the difference in the resurrection accounts, is that like they'll say like, oh, if you see an orange car crash into a blue car, but someone says it was a red car, it doesn't necessarily mean like it didn't happen. It means there was a difference in what people saw or remembered, and so it, kind of like that is it's I don't think it's right to say that we are gonna ground. I mean, of course, the bucket is definitely giving off. Let's say it actually is orange. It's definitely giving off orange, right? And then you say it's blue. I mean, you'd be wrong, but like, I don't think. I think on that premise, it's more likely that we are understanding two-ness, orangeness, largeness, smallness, all that through our own faculties, rather than deriving that from an actual existing template. If that makes sense.
So this is where I'm. Maybe you haven't thought about this problem before, but
Yeah.
you say it's our faculties, right? Meaning our brains, of course.
Uh,
Would you say so?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
how we. If we
generally.
didn't have our eyes, we wouldn't be seeing. You know, if we didn't have our auxiliary lobe, we also wouldn't be seeing
Sure.
things,
Yeah.
right? But where qualia comes out, like the redness comes out, is I can't show you. Like imagine somehow I was able to map out my brain state of when I experienced this redness, right?
Yeah.
Me showing you that doesn't give you any more clue or any closer of an idea of what redness looks like, right?
So your question is why can't we explain it?
No, more of this qualia that I'm seeing, this redness. It's not something that is can be expressed through material terms.
Yeah. And I think that's even more why would be a property, is because I can't.
So it is a property.
Yeah, I'm saying redness is a property, but I'm saying that
Yeah.
I'm saying that it doesn't exist somewhere. The red, like I don't in my brain go and reference redness from God or from some other faculty. Instead, I observe the redness.
I know you observe the redness, and it's coming from your, because you're observing it.
Yeah.
So what do you mean you're not like?
Yeah, but like yeah.
Getting it from somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I don't think we can describe specific experiential properties, or the experience of properties
The
through.
qualia.
Yeah, I don't think we can explain the qualia through words or through material aspects. I think they have to be experienced by an agent.
Yeah.
Or at least an observer, not necessarily an agent, right? Because you can observe something without having moral agency.
I mean, that's get back into ethics, but so, I mean, there we go.
Or not moral agency, sorry, agency.
Agency.
I've been a lot on moral agency recently.
Okay.
That's a big thing.
So, how's that lead into the overall idea you're trying to express?
We kind of went off topic a little bit, but function, okay? Function is another thing that I don't.
What is function?
I can describe movement, right? As long as you know what movement is.
Yeah.
And I can I can describe function, yeah, but I cannot describe where it is. I can describe where it's happening, but I can't describe where that function is. And so my thesis is that function is just another property.
Function is a property.
Function is a property of substance.
And what is a function?
Sorry. Right, philosophical terms, not computer science. Action is a property of substance.
And every function you would say is an action.
I would. Unless you bring up some niche term, I think it would be safe to say function is analogous with action.
Okay. So, the action of a car is to drive.
Okay, never mind. Let me say. I would not make them analogous. Sorry.
Okay.
When I say function, I mean action. Like what you would understand as action, that's what I would mean by function.
So a car is moving.
A car is driving.
Is rolling, is driving.
It's rolling, it's driving. And it may have a purpose of that as well, but I would separate that from the action.
Because when I hear function, I think of purpose. So
I think purpose. Is also comes into it. I think there's purpose that goes into the ethics of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, because like we kind of talked about this, and this is kind of where we enter the ethics. Right. Is that what is bad, what is good, and so when I'm thinking, here's the dog. When I'm thinking, oh, she may bark, but yeah. when I'm thinking, I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, I don't, and here's where we get into value claims.
Whoa.
Value claims. Okay. When I look at, like, where are we at, by the way? Okay, we're good. We have about 5 minutes before we have to switch.
It's fine.
Okay. When I look at a system, and to make it simple, right? Because the system doesn't necessarily have to have a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It could just, like, we could just reducio ad absurdum it, but let's just give it a purpose. Let's say a car has to drive. So
a system doesn't have to have a purpose.
No, of course not.
What's a system? A system, I feel like, is every system has a purpose. That's why we call it a system.
Well, systems have a function, and I mean, and this depends on if you are going to believe in like if you believe God created everything, then maybe there's a purpose.
Yes.
But if you don't believe that, and you believe things just kind of started moving somehow. I mean, infinite regress is the only other answer, I think. So, but like by infinite regress or by God.
But then you have to, our actual infinite is possible. That's a whole different thing, though.
Okay, bro. We can debate that later. We can debate that later. So whether you want an infinite causal chain or God, the system has actions, and I think. And no, this really is important. We have to cover this.
Okay.
Value claims, right? And this is where you're saying purpose or no purpose. Why do we value purpose?
You're asking me this.
Yeah.
Why do we value purpose?
Why do you value purpose? Why do you value the system? Why do you value humanity? Actually, here's a question I came across.
Whoa. Okay, go on.
Here's a question. This will better help you maybe realize what I'm saying, because I'm not articulating it well. Let's say you have a child, okay? Mm-hmm. You're on the moon, and the Earth's over there, right? Killing the child will stop the Earth from being enveloped by the sun. But
nice.
If you don't kill the child, it will be enveloped by the sun. What do? You
gotta kill the kid.
You gotta kill the kid. Of course you do. But why? Why do you value the people on Earth more than the kid? Also, what's the reason to do that?
I mean, I would say because human life, valuable, boom.
Why is it valuable?
I could do the calculus for that, right?
But why is it valuable?
Why is it valuable?
Yeah.
To me, or just at all?
What makes you put a value claim on it?
I put a value claim on it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is obviously, like, it goes back to, Aristotle's thing. Like, okay, everyone values something, right? And everything has like, if you go back, okay, why am I here?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to talk to you, right? Okay, why do I want to talk to you? Maybe because I enjoy talking to you, but why do I enjoy talking to you?
So it's kind of
you keep going
it's
back,
a contingency sort of thing.
Maybe, okay, because it gives me happiness or something, right? And I'm like, okay, why do I value happiness? And Aristotle said, it's like, okay, because everyone instinctively wants this thing called eudaimonia, which is just like, you can translate it as happiness, but I think a better translation of the Greek is like fulfillment.
Fulfillment. I like that.
So ultimately, why would I kill the kid is because if you go back down to it, it promotes the chief good, which is human fulfillment.
Men are that they might have joy. Yeah. Sorry, that just reminded me of that quote. Yeah. Consider someone who's suicidal.
Yeah.
Who doesn't care about anyone else, doesn't care about themselves. Mm-hmm. What's the point?
What's the point?
I mean, why don't they just tell everyone else to end, sin and what they have viewed as bad towards them since Yeah. Whatever caused them to be suicidal, you know.
I would
Which
say
tends to be the system.
whatever causes them to be suicidal, it's
Well, let's say it is the system.
yes.
Let's say it's humanity.
Well, humanity
Yeah,
causes
yeah.
them to be
So
suicidal.
why should they? I mean, where's the intrinsic value? Do we have any substantial value, or do we assign the value?
It's intrinsic.
It's intrinsic. So I have value intrinsically.
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 And if you go trying around asking, oh well, why do I have it intrinsically? If I were to offer an explanation, it would be intrinsic. The other thing I would explain would be intrinsic. So if you're looking for something that is intrinsic or at something that's intrinsic, you don't give an explanation for it, because if you were able to, it wouldn't be intrinsic. Whatever you explained it with would be. You see the issue
so
here?
you're saying the existence of that thing just grounds its value.
I mean, yeah, that's what value is, right? If something is intrinsically valuable, like imagine I say, give me an example. Like, I say,
We've got 3 minutes.
Medicine is intrinsically valuable, right?
Sure.
And you ask me, oh, why is it intrinsically valuable? It's like, oh, because it promotes happiness among people or welfare among people, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, so it's not intrinsically valuable. Helping people is intrinsically valuable, or promoting welfare is intrinsically valuable.
Mm-hmm.
You see the issue? Like, if you say something's intrinsic, you don't go therefore and start looking for explanations.
Because you just, I mean, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But so you would say that someone who doesn't see the value is not seeing that it's basically a property of. You're saying, like, I guess you're saying value is a property.
A property.
Like we talked about, it's given off by a substance. It's not attributed or any of that. You would actually say that value is a property, like it's intrinsic. It has value intrinsically.
I would say that.
Wow, that's kind of insane.
That's insane.
But why? Where is it?
Well, before we get into that, let's
because I can tell you where the redness is at least. But yeah, we ought to switch over. Okay. So we left off. I asked you, where is the intrinsicness? Where's the value? Where is it? Because I can show you that I can. Where does it express the value? Because value seems very subjective to me. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem like what may give value off to me may not give value off to you. So it seems like and it doesn't even seem like I attribute value to something. It seems like that thing almost does value.
Does value. Action.
Sort of. Almost action. I would say progress.
Progresses value? What?
Well, it provides progress. It either is progress or provides progress. So.
And progress is value.
I would say so.
Okay.
I would say so, but I would say we attribute that still. I don't know if that's grounded unless it's a universal law. I mean, would you ground? Like, I don't. I think no matter what, we make value claims. Mm-hmm. Like as observers, I think we make value claims. I just think those have to be attributed.
As observers, we make value claims.
Mm-hmm. As observers, and just being conscious things.
Okay, conscious things.
Yeah, that's what I mean by observer.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Like a rock.
What?
Panpsychism.
Oh yeah, panpsychism.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you asking me a question?
Okay, so basically, I'm just saying, I think if we're going to say that things have intrinsic value, mm-hmm. it's harder to ground than to say I value that, and that's why it provides that provides value to me, mm-hmm. that provides progress to me. I think it's better to make that claim than to say that inherently provides progress.
Inherently provides progress. I mean, I don't see how that contradicts what I was saying. If, let's say, eudaimonia, right, human fulfillment was the chief mm-hmm. good, anything that is constitutive to more human fulfillment, that is good.
Oh, I think I understand. You're analyzing eudaimonia and saying if it provides towards someone's eudaimonia, it has intrinsic, it gives off value.
It is virtuous.
So you're not saying it's necessarily a property of it, but you're saying it provides virtue to people that it gives eudaimonia to.
What's it?
Whatever the subject with value.
The object or the action or whatever.
The object of value. Yeah. I guess the action of value.
It could be value.
Yeah,
because
functions. Yeah.
Being brave is, I think it's virtuous and it
mm-hmm.
gives you more human fulfillment and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
Well, what was your view? What's your view?
So I mean, I think I'm similar. I think
Okay.
I would say that we are attributing the value to it. We are attributing the greatness to it. We are attributing the goodness to it, rather than it giving off that intrinsic expression.
So would you say moral facts exist?
Yeah, but not in the way you would like. I would not ground them in a being.
In being.
I would not ground them in God. I would not ground them
I know.
in anything. I would ground
All I'm
moral
asking
facts in.
is the fact of, let's say,
Oh,
someone maliciously murdered somebody, is that a moral fact to say that that act was bad?
yes, I
That's
would.
a
Yeah,
moral
yeah.
fact.
And this is where we move from the value
For
claim,
every,
right?
universally, it's what I mean too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
I would say so. And this is where we move from the value claim into the ethical system, right? Because we're saying we're attributing all this stuff, but it provides towards eudaimonia. By the way, for me, I call this coherence.
Eudaimonia is coherence.
So for me,
Everyone wants to live more coherent lives. Is that what it's...
yeah, I mean, would you not like? Do you want to live an incoherent life? So I
If
don't.
incoherence is towards my fulfillment, I think I would want to live an incoherent
Okay.
life. But I don't know if it is. So.
Because I'm coming from the aspect of a system. I'm not just coming from the aspect of a human.
And
right?
what are systems?
Systems are. I mean, so I would say the human race is a system. And the human race tries to reproduce itself. It tries to progress
The
itself.
system of the human race is reproduction.
I would say that's a core function, a core action
function.
that it does.
So systems.
So I'd say I would say
because it seems very important to you, to the whole system.
the system thing. This is
system.
the whole thing. I mean, well, so I mean, I would say there's a universal system, but we have like subsystems.
Universal
you know
system. What is this?
Because like the universe moves as a whole. You understand?
Oh, the universe system.
Yeah. So I'm pointing out the ambiguity of the word system,
Okay.
and I'm saying that it's important that we understand here. Yes, we're talking about the human race as a system right now, but I may veer off to other systems. Let's say the dog species as a system.
As a system.
Let's say that. Okay.
Okay, but
or we take the car as a system.
I know, but you said earlier that systems don't necessarily have a purpose.
Yeah.
So what do you mean system? Is like I'm very confused on the word.
An entity comprised of different moving parts. Yeah, generally, right?
And that's a system.
That can be a system.
That's it?
I would.
Anything with moving parts.
I mean, yeah, right?
No goal in mind, though.
There can be a goal in mind. I would say that would be a type of system, a purposeful system.
So you have like purposeful systems and then chaotic systems? Where chaotic systems mean like there's no purpose, things are just moving.
I like that, yeah, actually.
Okay.
Organized systems and chaotic systems.
Yeah, cause I was
Does that make
trying to
sense?
think of an example of a system without a purpose.
Yeah, like there can be...
I was imagining like the double pendulum as a system, and that's chaotic or whatever.
Yeah, no, I would say that there's chaotic systems and then organized systems, and it doesn't really matter which one doesn't matter which one we're talking about. Each one does action. Mm-hmm. And so where I move into this is I'm observing humanity, and I'm like, I don't see any reason why there's a value claim outside of humanity. Like, I don't know why it's bad to lie and kill somebody. I don't think it's bad that if someone wants to disconnect from the human system, why they wouldn't just kill all humans. Like, why is that bad? So I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing like I can't fathom the intrinsic property of good, and I don't understand why, like purpose. Maybe you can be already attributed purpose by your creator, but good is like this really hard term. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, well, if we actually look at systems as positive and negative, that's where we make our value claims. Mm-hmm. It collapses down a little bit better to what is positive toward that system, what's negative toward that system. That's what we can call ethical, good, bad, and that's what we perceive as good and bad because we're integrated into the system.
Yeah.
We can perceive that as damaging our system, therefore damaging us and what we value.
So I mean, my response then, it seems that like it's almost necessary for a system to have a purpose then.
What's up?
Because if it's a chaotic system, there is no positive or negative. Neither of it. It's just chaotic. it doesn't matter if one thing goes one way or another way. There's no rules. There's no purpose. So
that answers a question I've
had. If you want a positive or negative, it has to have a purpose. It needs to have a purpose.
You know what? I will concede on that point. I will concede on that point because that's actually a question I've been asking. So with the killing the child thing and the value claims, we can better ground the value claim. Like, why do people even value it? It's because people see that system, which is eudaimonia. It was the purpose.
Yeah.
And so they see the eudaimonia, and that's what they chase. And it's because that's their purpose. So I think that makes sense. I think we can't make an ethical claim onto a chaotic system. I think you're right.
I mean, yeah.
We can only make an ethical claim like that, at least, onto organized systems.
Just going off intuitions here, I don't think there's some. I think it's not irrational too, but I don't think most rational people would say it's, like, wolves are immoral for killing deer.
Sure.
I don't think that's not a normal thing people would say. And like, why? Because it's it's wild, it's chaotic. There's not organization or rationality there.
So does crossing over from one system into another cross over kind of a more chaotic of boundary?
We could imagine giving a wolf rationality, and he'd be like, oh, I can't believe I'm doing this to these deers. And, maybe they're like, oh, I have to become vegan or something.
Is that why vegans feel so, like, incoherent to me? Like, imagine, if we're drawing this system and we're saying the boundary here of ethics is crossing into another system. Once we've crossed over from a bigger system that's more chaotic into wolves, we've now crossed over that ethical boundary to the point that this doesn't necessarily count as ethics anymore. I mean, unless we're like purposefully trying to hurt that system, like the system as a whole, or hurt it to the point that it feels more like my system doing its thing than it does a purposeful destruction of your system. It feels more chaotic.
I mean, from what I've seen and when I've talked to vegans, what I usually experience is they think that a part of the human system is to take care of animals and decrease animal suffering. So they see humans, doing factory farming or stuff like that as like a major violation. So I think it's still rational. I don't think vegans are irrational. They definitely have like.
I wouldn't call that grounded though.
Grounded.
Because I mean, if I don't know why. Like, where do we say that a species it becomes necessary or it becomes a function or an action of their system? I guess function provides some sort of function must provide towards purpose. Yeah. So the function is an action with purpose.
Yeah, maybe I could give you the argument.
Yeah, where does the function come in that we need to help animals?
I could give you the argument I think they'll use is humans. Oh, okay. Premise one.
Premise one. Okay.
Humans are animals.
Okay.
Premise two. Humans. Humans ought to decrease human suffering. Or let's say all humans are animals, right? And therefore, and maybe it is a fallacy then. Because they would extend it to humans should reduce animal suffering as well.
Yeah, but you're already a subsystem. The animal system is just animals. That makes it chaotic. The subspecies have different purposes. So you're crossing over the chaotic boundary.
So, I mean, maybe I can just try to give the claim of why you should be a vegan here is what makes humans special?
I don't think anything makes humans special.
Yeah.
I think humans need to eat, and I think the system needs to expand itself, and I think that's what the system is doing. It's doing an action that it needs to do. And I think that, I think specifically crossing over into the other system to damage something in it, like I purposefully, it doesn't serve anything to my system. Therefore, I've now integrated myself into your system almost, right? And I'm purposefully just damaging you to not do a function of my system.
Okay.
Therefore, that makes it a malicious agency act, and that is unethical. But where I have an action that's part of my system's regrowth, we're now saying that we're crossing over a system that, has a purpose of existing, but, I have a separate purpose from the animals, and so when we're crossing over, again, we're crossing over the chaotic boundary into a separate organized system in order to expand our system.
You have a separate purpose from the animals.
I would say so.
Why?
Because my purpose is to love God.
Just to love God.
Yeah, the animals have a separate purpose. Well, depends if you're a Mormon, okay?
Okay.
If you are a Mormon, you believe the animals are part of the created order, so they do have a purpose of progressing as well.
Of progressing
Yeah,
to
right.
love God.
My dog will be a god, okay?
Okay. So then would
I
you
don't
not
know.
have the same purpose then?
Well, I don't know. It's a separate level of purpose.
Interesting. I mean, there's
and it's a separate system. They exist under a separate system.
why would you say that they exist under a separate system?
From a Mormon point of view, or
No, just from like
from
your point of view.
Okay.
Yeah.
My point of view is Mormon.
I know, but just give your
Let me.
point of view.
I'll strip all religion away. So we have the animal system, yeah.
Yes.
And the animal system. Well, I would call it a classification. Well, no, it has to exist as a system because everything sub-branches out of evolution. But the animal system intertwines with itself almost. So, for instance,
humans are a part of the animal system.
Humans are a part of the animal system. But like here, if we, here's a good one.
Yeah.
Let's take a manual transmission car. Okay.
Wow.
Right. Yeah.
Classy.
So the clutch's purpose is to clasp onto the engine. You know, the engine's moving. It's to clasp onto the engine and move the wheels. Yeah. Okay. But as that happens, the clutch eventually starts getting worn down. So I guess what I'm saying is in systems, there can be damaging effects onto separate parts of the system in order for them to still do their job. So I don't think that provides an unethicality. I think that provides somewhat an incoherence. And I think we ought to chase coherence. But I think the need to do that or cross into systems, damage them in order to do your job is also important. And I don't think we can strip that down to an ethical claim where you're damaging it, it's bad. No, because I need to do this in order to survive.
I mean, kind of interesting is you said, right, that we ought to chase coherence.
Sure.
And that the human system may be damaging the cow system, right, is necessary. But you said it kind of provides an incoherence.
Yeah.
Well, we can stop that incoherence by becoming vegan. So didn't you kind of, in a way, argue veganism to yourself right there?
Oh. That's a good point, actually. Going vegan. No.
I mean, according to your ethics, maybe you should.
I mean, I think there's veganism comes with a ton of other issues.
Like what?
Well, so for first off,
Yes.
it's a little more expensive, and it's a.
I mean, but we ought to chase coherence.
Yes.
And we ought not to be damaging these other systems. So, I mean, it seems the best way to do that is maybe just fork up a little more money.
Fork up a little more money.
And also, rice is really cheap.
Rice is really cheap.
Oatmeal is really cheap. Potatoes are really cheap. And, you can get some proteins from there. Beans, great source of protein
Beans
as well.
are a good source of protein.
So it's
Lentils.
not impossible.
Oh, beans are lentils, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or lentils
Do they
are
count?
a type of bean.
Lentils
or
are
maybe they're legumes.
legumes. I think
Something.
they're legumes.
I don't know. I'm not a botanist or whatever. But
No, so I've heard some stuff about and I don't know nearly as much as I should about veganism, but I've read some stuff on veganism, and
Yeah.
from what I know, and I like to be corrected if I'm wrong, is that there are questions as to the impact of making vegan food. There's questions to the the actual nutrient replaceability.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have to take supplements if you're vegan, and so there's a lot. It makes it a lot harder on you. It's a lot more stressful, and so I would say that provides it more downhill than it does up.
More incoherence.
I would say
to
yeah.
the human system.
Yes, it provides. Yeah.
Okay.
It causes more incoherence to me and the human system than it does just to kill the cow.
Okay. So this is a technology that's emerging, right?
Yeah.
Is lab-grown meat.
I've seen that stuff.
And I don't know why it's like the perfect solution to veganism, but let's say lab-grown meat somehow becomes really popular, right?
Sure.
We would not need to kill animals anymore. And then
Yeah.
because your argument that it would actually cause damage to the higher system and the animal system, right? You would say then if lab-grown meat is readily available to you, then it is actually, we can use this word by your definition, bad for you to kill a cow and eat it.
Yeah, I would say so. I say you should take the lab-grown meat.
So
assuming it can provide the nutrients to you.
Yeah. So
I would say it's a better
if
option.
somehow veganism works nutritionally, so it wouldn't damage your life as much, you would be vegan.
I think so. I think it makes sense. I mean, even so, did you know? Okay, this is a separate note. This is a separate note on the Mormon Word of Wisdom. Okay. Did you know it is more vegan, like than any other like food system that like out there. Like it's a very vegan system. Ooh, we're moving. Okay, I think we need to restart it again.
Oh, right. Wow, that was fast. Yeah. That was 40 minutes.
Yeah. We reached the explanation of the system. What?
I have some questions.
Oh, you have the questions now. Okay. Anyways, just to cover the note on Mormonism is the word of wisdom is actually a very, very vegan thing. It says don't eat meat unless you are in times of famine or cold. It's given as counsel, not commandment, of course. So it's like you're not going against God, but generally it is better in God's eyes for you to be vegan.
I mean, if it's ethically.
If it's ethically better, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what are the questions?
So, there's these things about systems and incoherence, right? And how do you know something's incoherent? How do you know something lends towards incoherence rather than to coherence?
I think that's where you gave the good distinction between organized and chaotic.
Yeah.
Is that if an organized system is the only one we can apply this ethics framework to. And so if the organized system isn't performing towards its purpose, we can call that an incoherence.
How do you know the purpose?
Depends. I mean, like, I let's just take a basic one for humanity. Because, I mean, ultimately we want to know human ethics. So, I mean, if you know your purpose assigned by God, or if you have assigned some,
so how do you know? How do you get this knowledge of that this is the purpose?
I have the Mormon answer, but that's not a good one.
You get the burning in the bosom.
No. I mean, basically, I would say personal revelation. But
would you say it comes down to intuition then?
I would. So okay. So it depends if you're an absurdist or if you believe in God. Because if you believe in God, you know your purpose is to love God, follow His commandments.
Is that the dilemma? You're either absurdist or you're a theist.
So I think theists have a better claim to it in that their purpose is grounded in the Creator, and they have scripture that tells them, love your God with all your heart, mind, and strength. All the 10 Commandments. So they have Jesus' stuff that tells them what to do.
So you come to know moral truths in the theistic framework, which would be part of your framework, right?
Yeah.
Through revelation, some type.
Yeah. So you would come to know it through revelation in the theistic worldview, but in an absurdist worldview, you would assign that to yourself, which makes it a lot harder.
Which makes it not objective, right?
Yeah, which kind of just makes it a more chaotic framework, which makes kind of ethics a more causal factor.
Well, the thing is, ethics, right?
Yeah.
Ethics, I would say, to summarize it, it's all about ought claims, right? What people ought to do, rather than just what people do, right? That's what distinguishes a non-ethical, like something that's descriptive. He killed that guy, to a moral statement, which is he shouldn't have killed that guy.
Oh wait, you mean ethics would? No, well.
Right, because the ought claim is the key thing of ethics.
Yeah,
if you're saying something that's ethical, it's something you ought to do.
Yeah.
Ought a person.
No,
to
I
do.
agree with that. I agree.
And if it comes down to it's just my intuition, then you have, where do you get the authority to make an ethical claim? But of course, if you think it's revelation, then you get authority from the person with all the authority.
So I don't think. I think that's an interesting thing. But I mean, so if you're saying eudaimonia is intrinsic, right? Like I think I have it built in me to chase happiness, or chase the coherence.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just built into me. I think I chase that.
I mean, if you read book 1 of Nicomachean Ethics, that's what Aristotle says.
Yeah.
I mean, look around. If you ask anybody, why do you do this, and you keep asking why, they're gonna say because I want to be happy. Because I value it. Yeah. Because I want to be fulfilled.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's just I do think that's intrinsic. I think you're right. I think intrinsically they have assigned it because they are chasing their end goal.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's an important part of being conscious, and that's why that to me confirms panpsychism more too, is that if it's built into us as a property, and we're chasing it as an observer, as something that's conscious, all systems can chase this coherence and knowingly chase this coherence, and it kind of grounds the framework a little better.
So that kind of answers my second question, though, which is like, what would motivate someone to be moral?
Yeah, I think it's just I think it's built in you.
It's built into you.
I think
then why are there immoral people?
Well, I don't think I think people can act selfishly. I mean, I don't think necessarily, like, I think, like, okay, people can misunderstand certain things. Like, as I said, I think we can misunderstand that the thing over there is orange. Like, you just say it's blue, and you can maybe really think it's blue.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is I may observe that I'm creating coherence by killing someone. That doesn't mean I am.
You're just wrong.
I'm just wrong.
You're wrong.
So yeah, so yeah, but like, I mean, there still is the objectivity of that being wrong. Like, that was bad. Like, we can say that was a negative to the system, but I didn't think so. So I'm incorrect in thinking that was right.
Yeah, because I mean, you said moral truths on your model through like some type of revelation.
Well,
Any type, right?
So you would know the moral truths. I think it would be built into you as the property of consciousness in you as matter. If you're a panpsychist, of course, or wherever consciousness comes from, I think in your consciousness is built, the chase for, I mean, what is it? Just the pursuit of happiness. I mean, the pursuit of fulfillment. I think that is clearly a property of consciousness. I think we express that. I think we can see that clearly expressed.
Okay. And I mean, these all lead into each other, but
sure.
What explains the authority of morality? Why can you say someone ought to do something rather than they ought not to do it?
I don't think any one person who isn't like omniscient can fully say.
I know, but you said, you think moral facts exist.
Sure.
And those moral facts, which are ought statements, apply to people. What gives them the authority? Where does this come
think
from?
Generally people do observe things correctly.
Yeah.
I think if we can confirm that with others, it's easier. I'm not saying that the actual moral ought comes from us all agreeing that that's the moral ought. I'm saying that we can better see that moral ought exists through conversing with each other and understanding that moral ought. I mean, that's exactly what we do today.
But what gives the authority to the moral ought?
Like, why does the moral ought even exist?
No, like, why should I be moral? Why does it apply to me?
Oh, sure.
What gives it the authority to say how I should or should not live?
I mean, we kind of explained that as well, right? Is because, I mean, the moral ought provides coherence to the system that you're in, therefore you as well.
Yeah.
Especially because you're materialistically in it, you're functionally in it, you're purposefully in it, you're emotionally in it. So acting within that ought. And I have a friend who talks about game theory, is being cooperative with something that's cooperating with you will always be better for you. So, or in general, it will be better for you.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, I think it is better to cooperate and integrate into that system and help that system and function positively for that system.
So I ought to seek coherence or eudaimonia just because it's, even though I may have been deceived by my own self that like, no, I don't want this, but I really do. At the end of the day, I really, if I analyze myself, I would say, yes, I actually do want to seek coherence.
Well, so I think that the eudaimonia fully comes from coherence. I think if you think that killing the system will provide you eudaimonia, I don't think it actually would.
Yeah.
Like,
is it more that I'm like there's something faulty with my thinking? Is that what you'd say? Like it's something faulty with me?
That it could be that, or it could be that you've observed wrong. It could be
which is a fault. If I observe something, I'm mistaken.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
You'd be.
So deep down, we all do seek coherence.
I think deep down eudaimonia is what, like, I think that's
yeah.
the bottom of consciousness, the bottom of that property of, I mean, not just, I think consciousness it shows us the awareness of it.
Yeah.
But I think that everything is chasing that, materially, functionally, consciously, all of it.
Okay. And this is something, kind of a deeper question, which there might be an easy out of this problem, but, famous problem from David Hume, who your wife likes David Hume, right? Tiago likes David Hume.
I think she does.
She brought it up last time.
Yeah, I think she did.
So, I mean, you might have already encountered this with conversations with her, but it's the is-ought problem, right?
Okay.
And what I kind of see you were doing in your framework is you're looking at the world, right? And you're observing everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And from these observations of systems, as you put it, right, you get your ethics.
Sure.
Right? But, like, how does that make sense? How do you go from something descriptive to something with authority over how people should live?
Sure. Okay. I mean, I'm not telling people to live like this. I don't think that, like, if someone believes that ethics just comes from God or something, that God wrote it on our hearts, like, well, actually, I mean, I'm kind of saying that it's written on our hearts almost, kind of, right? I mean, I'm just saying it's not sourced, really. I'm saying, well, actually,
it's not sourced
it has
from
to be,
observation?
I would say that the ultimate coherence part of it is sourced through purpose, maybe. Like, you know what I mean?
Like through your wanting of eudaimonia?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, because you have to have a purpose in order to have something positive or negative to the system, is what you were saying, right?
But you don't go from saying, like, observing the world. Like, this is not where you... I'm going to say an example, and you're going to tell me if it fits your...
Okay.
I think that's the best way I can explain it.
Sure.
Imagine somehow you, with a fully developed brain, are just dropped into a society with no prior knowledge, right? And you observing this world, see how people interact, see how the world interacts, right? You see the systems. Or is what you're claiming is that through the observation of this person looking at all the systems, that they derive the morality from those observations? Like you can just be dropped into a world, right, randomly, and you can get this morality.
Like, just by observing the world?
Just through the observations.
And you are now part of the world?
Yes, you're in the world.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's clearly expressed.
How though? How do you go from descriptions
I mean, how did Aristotle...
prescriptions?
How did Aristotle come to his... right? He's talking about if you ask anybody, they'll say they're chasing eudaimonia. Yeah. So, I mean, I would say... I would say basically that's how you would. I mean, that's how you would understand that. Look at all these people. They're chasing eudaimonia. They're clearly expressing it on a very basic,
it's just intrinsic,
deep level. Yeah, I would say intrinsically.
You don't go from descriptions to prescriptions. You just already have it. You already have the prescription of I want eudaimonia.
Yeah, I think we are prescribed that. I think every system is prescribed that. I think that
every system.
So I think that joy is the experience of coherence. I think when we feel fully rational, and fully coherent, we feel joy, and so I think that fulfillment, happiness, is the conscious. Understanding of that coherence.
Not to be too obtuse, but imagine if you when people take heroin, they experience a lot of joy in the moment. Is that them experience like maximum coherence?
Well, that's that's why I would say heroin is unethical to take, because it is modifying how you're feeling. It is giving you that feeling of coherence even though you're not actually coherent. It's deceiving.
It's deceiving. Okay, it's not virtuous. Okay.
Yeah, just like you killing someone and thinking it's gonna help you.
So I think after you've answered all these questions, I would put you in virtue ethics. I think you are just a virtue ethicist.
I think it really all comes down to
I don't think you're a deontologist. You don't seem like it's a universal bad. Like you can, I guess maybe from what I got, you don't believe in this, but would you say it's always, in all cases, always wrong to lie?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
so
a
you're not a
big
deontologist.
I'm a big Machiavelli supporter.
Well, okay. I'm saying there's ethical reasons, like maybe like the Nazis knock on your door, right? And you can't tell them the Jews in your basement.
Well,
or
yeah,
something.
but I mean, but that is Machiavellian ultimately, right? Lying to the Nazis.
It's virtuous. It's not Machiavellian.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that lie is justified by like
virtue.
the Jews in your basement not being killed, exactly, by virtue.
Yeah.
So I just say, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah.
I think most people who subscribe to virtue ethics are trying to say it comes from our own brain, and from there we get subjective ethics. So I want to stress that this isn't coming from our brain, this is coming from the system, and I think that all systems seemingly chase coherence. You know what I mean?
I think they wouldn't say it's subjective at
Really?
all.
Okay.
No. Virtue ethics is definitely not subjective.
All right.
It's you have these virtues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bravery, courage.
Sure.
I mean, like care for people, right? You have these things, and
Yeah.
they're what matters is the intention, right?
Mm-hmm.
And however that intention is expressed, if it's like coherent, right? If the intention is coherently expressed, that is what is right. That is what is good.
Yeah.
Like
I think that makes sense.
Like
yeah.
If you're stealing because your kids are gonna starve or something like that.
Yeah, I'd say that's good.
The intention, the virtue you're expressing is care for your children.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's right. Even though where someone else might say, a utilitarian would say, feeding your children increases utility, and that's why you should do it.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of like that.
Yeah. I think I used to be utilitarian.
Yeah.
Because I think I was saying a few months ago that
that's what I thought.
Utility. Yeah, but
utility though, the utilitarians they struggle with the is-ought thing. Like, how do you go from descriptions to...
Oh, like, if it serves utility, why do I care?
Yeah, why do you care about utility? Why should I ought to increase utility always?
Yeah.
It's like, but I mean, look. It's like, I can look, but where is the ought?
Whereas I can just say, it's not that it serves utility to me, it's that I'm trying to make the system whole.
Yeah, well, the utility is really just you increasing your own eudaimonia. Which is through the virtues, which leads to...
Yeah, I think man's own eudaimonia comes from the virtuous acts. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it.
That's an interesting conclusion. I forgot most of what we talked about.
It's recorded.
It's recorded. Yeah, we'll watch it. Do you remember everything we went through?
Yes, I do.
Dang, this guy remembers. I have Alzheimer's.
I don't
have Alzheimer's.
Okay. Cool.
Awesome.
There we go. Podcast number